I want to say I'm right on time, but I'm actually about 45 seconds late. So everybody tuning in, sorry about that. Sorry about that. I had a slight technical difficulty I had to handle upstairs before I ran down here to get it. That means I just couldn't find my cell phone. Jay, what's good, boy? What's going on, man?
Not a lot, man. Well, I mean, not a lot for me, but a lot for everybody else, I suppose.
Yeah, man. So a lot's been going on. Congratulations for surviving 1 week of the war, Jay. And congratulations on that, man. Very proud of you. So many ways. I'm just a single tear rolls down my eyes, everybody. My name is Joseph. This is my buddy Jay. Say hello, Jay.
Hello, Jay.
There it is, man. That's enthusiasm drives the ladies crazy. Welcome to the Enigma Daily, everybody. We are the sister channel of the Ancient Enigma Files. And this is our second channel where we talk about current events and things of that going around the world. We do not have a posting schedule, but we do go every Monday and Tuesday right now, and we're trying to add more days to it. So thank you for everybody tuning in. Robert, checking the chat over here, YouTube. Robert's one of our #1 guys over there. Robert says, hey, Jay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so.
See him every night.
Yeah, man, for sure. So yeah, Jay, 2 seconds as I tab across my screen here to pull up my notes real fast. Jay? Are we in World War III right now and we just don't know it yet? Or is this something along the way, something going on, or what is going on? In your opinion here, Big Boy?
I think that World War III started a while ago. Not necessarily the hot war, but definitely the Cold War, right?
For sure.
I mean, it's hard to say because, there's been economic war all around for the last couple of years. Some people say that, you remember the Stuxnet thing?
Yep.
In Iran, how long ago was that? That was a while
I was under Obama.
Yeah, some people say that's when it started. But I don't know. I think at this point, it's not really worth the argument, right? It pretty much is. Right? This is going to be a nasty conflict because of just who's involved and what's happened already, and just the personalities involved. I don't see this ending. I don't see this ending. Well, here's the thing. It could end at any time because there's nothing predictable here.
Well, so yeah. So the real reason why I was late is actually because somebody had sent me something asking my opinion about. It's just gotten proven today that Trump over the weekend secretly reached out to Iran again and asked for to end the conflict. But this time he removed the unconditional surrender clause from the conflict. And Iran posted back on X, basically giving him the middle finger, saying the war is over when you make Israel surrender, unconditionally. And this is this is the conversation I was actually having. We're in this conflict. And here's the part that, don't hang up the phone, everybody. Let me get to the end of the sentence. And we're losing. And the reason why we're losing is because we never set a definition of what the win would be. So right now, all we're doing is and we're just swapping blows back and forth. That's all we're doing, right? So
yeah, what's
the win, right? And again, everybody, I don't know if you're familiar with this or not, but a third aircraft carrier was dispatched this morning, the USS George Bush. We got to stop naming these aircraft carriers after freaking presidents, man. Bro, we need to name them after corporate sponsors like the USS Red Bull or the USS Dale Earnhardt. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
We're headed that way, bro. Yeah, we're headed that way.
Something like that, man. Something that strikes fear in these people. Like, number 3 pulls into the Gulf, painted black, so playing Thunderstruck, right? So yeah. But
this is the George H.W. Bush.
Yeah, it's heading that way. But I got my own thoughts on that, everybody. People are saying that, oh no, it's escalating. But the George Bush is probably just going out there to relieve the Gerald
I was
Ford.
thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know this, the Gerald Ford's been at sea for 10 months straight.
Yeah.
That is unheard of. That is unheard of in military since World War II level, standards. How it normally happens, guys, is that if you're not familiar with naval operations, is that you have what's called a rotation. For example, I'll use 7th Fleet. 7th Fleet is out of Japan. 3rd Fleet is out of Norfolk, Virginia. 5th Fleet is out of, was out of Bahrain. Each fleet at all times has to have a carrier underway and in port. So there's always 2 carriers that flip back and forth. I don't know what happened with the Ford to make it stay at sea for 10 months straight without getting any relief. But I actually think that the George Bush is probably steaming out there right now. It's going to take 2 weeks to get there. It's probably going out there so the Gerald Ford can come back home, because I can only imagine the knives out situation that's going on that bad boy.
Not only that, the plumbing is messed up on that ship.
Yeah.
The funny thing about it, though, is the GHW has the same plumbing system as the...
Flush it, boys. If you don't want to fight that war, boys, flush the sins. Let's see here. Fidel Dali, we're not losing. I disagree. Okay. That's why. Well, welcome to the channel, man, because this is where we all can get down and disagree and hear our differences coming out on that. I disagree with you. I think we are losing this war because there is no set standard for winning. Israel's getting pummeled. I mean, they're taking the shot. They're taking, direct headshots, right? Iran's taking shots too, but Iran is about twice as big as Iraq. Israel's not even the size of Delaware. And so, yeah, it just depends on what your definition of winning and losing are. Fun fact, guys.
Israel's the size of New Jersey, not Delaware.
Is it? New Jersey? It's the size of New Jersey?
Yeah, Delaware is like this big.
Yeah. So that's, in my mind, it's like that, right? But I tell you too,
it's the size of Jersey, but like that's like what? How many people they got? They got like 6 million people, something like that.
No,
right?
There's only 6 million Jews worldwide. There's only about 1.5 million Jews who actually live in Tel Aviv. Have you ever been there? Have you been to Israel?
No.
Bro, it ain't pretty. Like I haven't
taken my birthright trip yet.
You haven't taken your birthright trip? No, like it's not architecturally, it's not advanced at all. It's like Tucker Carlson said it best, man. It's a very ugly place. I mean, it is riddled with war. And so, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you have to lead that into it, right? So, but
it's got 10 million people in Israel. 10
million. Yeah, but how many of them are Jews though?
73 to 78%.
Okay, so my math is off. That's why I keep you around, man. Steve corrects my spelling. Jay corrects my math, and that's why I'm so pretty. That's why God made me pretty, right? Because if I could spill, I'd be dangerous. I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, brother.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not enthusiastic about this whole adventure. This is just very ill-advised, and it has potential to be extremely detrimental to like everybody, not just like not just the people involved, right? Not just Iran, not just Israel, not just the United States, everybody.
Yeah.
Because like I think 20% of the world's oil goes through there.
Yeah.
And 20% of the natural gas. Now, here's the thing that people don't understand about natural gas. That's not just for your propane and propane accessories. It's for fertilizer. They make a lot of fertilizer out of that natural gas. So, like, if you're a betting man, bet on urea futures.
Well, I mean, yeah, the Straits of Hormuz is actually not very wide either, and I don't like how our news outlets portray that we destroyed the Iranian Navy. It's basically 20 speedboats with 50 cows and torpedoes hanging all over it. That's not really a navy, right? Of course, we mopped that in one day, but it's not very wide, right? As well. And so it's easy for like one tanker on fire could shut that down. And that's what they did. I mean, Iran sunk one of their own tankers, right? And they pulled everybody's insurance slips so no one could run through it. And gas is up to $8 in certain places in LA right now. And it's gone up in Florida as well.
Insane.
Right? Yeah. So
has it?
Yeah, it's got like about a buck. Yeah, but enough to notice.
About $1 here. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but the thing that I've learned is that they raise them up and they never lower them back down ever when things go back to normal, right? So like the same reason why they tell you to buy all these high energy, high efficiency light bulbs and for your house, and your power bill stays the same, right? Never goes down, right? So yeah, bro. Right. It's not a good look for everybody. And
no, not at all. It's not going to be. This isn't going to be good for anybody.
Yeah, and
there's no upside to any of this.
And I think that the first off ramp we should take. We absolutely should. The first off ramp we should take, because as well, all of our bases in the surrounding area have been hit. I was told that another thing, guys, you're going to get it's one thing we should change this into is military operations channel. If you there's only 2 major hospitals in that area. If you get hurt in the Pacific Ocean or the Indian Ocean, I'm talking about hurt bad enough where you have to be Medevac, right? There's only 2 hospitals that can receive you. One is the Naval Hospital in Japan. Jays knows all about that right there down in Yokosuka. The other one is a hospital, the Army Hospital in Germany. And so when I was on Diego Garcia, a guy got drunk and fell off the balcony up the 3rd floor of the balcony, right?
Damn.
And they had to medevac him off the island. And I don't know if he ever made it or not, because it was about a 15-hour flight from there to Japan, right? But I think they put some nurses and stuff like that. They probably stabilized him on the flight. So that's the thing that people don't understand, man, is that when they call it the golden hour. If you're wounded, like you take a round or something like that, and it doesn't kill you right away, you got 1 hour to get to like certain field hospitals to get, stabilized, right? And after they stabilize you, they'll move you off, out of theater to one of those 2 hospitals. And supposedly Germany has gone dark, and they're hiding the amount of numbers of casualties that came in. My opinion. I thought it was about 1,000. Robert, Steve's ducking the channel. Robert, I'm reading the chat over here. So he's asking where Steve's at. I invited Steve on. I think Steve's found him a woman. That's what it is, man. He's going deep. He's trying to date a chick right now, man. So he'll break up in 2 weeks and he'll be back, guys. Let's stay calm. But yeah, so
yeah,
that's what I think's going on, Jay, with that they're not hiding our numbers. And I saw another. Tonight we were supposed to talk about dogmen. Did you know that? We're gonna talk about dogmen and cryptids tonight, man. But they pull me in with this stuff, everybody, with this breaking news.
Stupid
war, and I want to talk about dogmen and Bigfoots, right? And portals out of Tennessee. Right. But it's a lose-lose situation, because Fox News is telling Trump that 90% of the people are behind this. I don't know where they got that freaking number from, right? Did you see that number?
Yeah, somebody's telling him that number. No, I mean, I don't. The word on the street is that he's not seeing the real numbers.
Yeah.
Right? That he's being shown that, the U.S. is overwhelmingly behind this war, which does that surprise you in any little way?
Yeah, but it kind of actually does right now, because
what happens when you upset a dementia patient?
Well, here's the thing, man. Here's the, I'm trying to say this in the politest way possible, right? Unless you were around and alive when we overthrew Iran the first time, for example, unless you voted for Carter or against Jimmy Carter, no one hates Iran except the people that were in that generation, because of the way that the thing went down, right? So the average 20 to 30 year old doesn't care. unless you're on a college campus and you're free Palestine, you don't even know why you're saying that. You're just out there just repeating what
You're doing it.
Well, yeah, just doing it to do it, right? But guys that are working 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, they don't give a shit about that. Oh, they don't care. I'm sorry. They don't give anything about this war going on, right? And all they're going to see all they're going to see is gas get more expensive. All they're going to see is more rhetoric spin up. We're on the edge of a false flag because America is really not behind. We're not behind it. I actually think that there's a small part of me that thinks that Trump is off the leash enough to drop a nuke over there to try to get them to negotiate, thinking that's a good idea. It would be a horrible, horrible idea to do that, right?
Yeah, let's not put that out into the world, man. That is the
and that
beyond,
right there,
that is beyond stupid right there.
Because right now we've hit all their military targets, and that's why I think that they underestimated our enemy. Is because now all you got left is civilian targets and oil fields. And again, you hit their oil field, they'll hit that refinery, they'll hit this, that, and the other things, go back and forth. So that's when I'm thinking to myself with these guys that the first off ramp we get, they need to take it. The first off ramp that comes along, they replaced. It's hilarious, man. You really can't make this stuff up. What the Ayatollah? Who's this guy, Jay? The Ayatollah of rock and roller? That's what I call him. It's stuck in his head.
Let me get it. Make sure I get it right. Who is the
Khomeini, right? Well, he's his son, right?
Yeah, it's Mojtaba Khomeini.
Yeah, so basically, you killed his father. He's in charge now. He's younger.
Yeah, this guy's more extreme than his father was.
Yeah, right. So
he's like he was the one who was pushing for a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, and so
right, like his father put up a fatwa against it and said, we're not going to do that, right? And now he's gone.
Yeah,
and so his son is like, let's build a nuke.
And so that's the thing.
Been in favor the whole time. It's like
it was the joke that was going on back in the day, right? When they would rough up somebody and he'd be like, was he an insurgent? And it's like, well, if he wasn't when we stopped him, he is now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, right.
Exactly, right? So yeah, bro. That's the thing. That's the thing right there that when I'm just looking at this from putting our
experience on it.
Yeah, and I'm saying this with as polite as possible, but they're nowhere near as lethal or sharp as we were back in the day. And I know every generation probably says that, right? But
right.
And
with every generation, it's a little bit true, right?
Yeah.
Because
we were fighting, like we weren't in Vietnam, right? We weren't part of that. We weren't in that, right? And that's a whole nother thing, right? So yeah, sure.
Right. So you've got and how long ago was Afghanistan and Iraq? Like that was still quite a while ago. So a lot of those guys are done.
They're done. Yeah, they're out.
So there aren't any young bucks out there who remember what Iran or Afghanistan was like and what it was like to be stuck in the desert for 6 months, 6, 12, 18 months at a time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's even saying we shouldn't even put troops on the ground there. It's a horrible, horrible idea, right? I think that. So the thing that I'm seeing is that there was a missile barrage today.
Oh, okay.
That Iranian cluster munitions struck central Israel today, like March 9th.
Yeah.
So, we didn't completely disable their military infrastructure. They're still shooting missiles, bro.
Yeah, and the wild thing about it is that they're not even really shooting their high-tech stuff yet. They're throwing their trash at us, right? And again, man, it's the whole They wore out all of our interceptors. And again, I just look at this. I look at the situation. I look at it, and bro, who thought this through? Like who plotted this out, bro?
They didn't.
Like who plotted this out, right?
Okay, so my theory is, here's my theory on the whole thing. So back in the day, probably like during GHW's administration, right? He had all those guys, all those neocon guys, right? And so you had like Karl Rove, Cheney, all those dudes, the old school neoliberal dudes. They wrote a position paper back in the day, like probably even before that, about destabilizing the Middle East and the order that they were going to go in, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Iran was last, right? So this is like this leftover neocon
20-year war plan, right? That they blew the dust off.
Right, like it's this idea that we have to take out Iran from like from 30 years ago, dude. That's just it's not applicable anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just dumb. And you probably have some of those old dudes still in there, like beating the war drum, like we got to get the plan finished.
Yeah, no. So this right here,
even if it's a crappy plan, we got to get the plan finished.
Yeah, this right here, man, is not even something. That's why, again, I go back to our episode that we talked about last week. That I can't even there has to be something more to this than what we're seeing. This is definitely some type of knowing what we know now with these emails, knowing what we know now with all this other stuff, right?
It's a bunch of people who don't really understand soft power.
For example,
you know what I mean by that?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. So, one of the first things they got rid of when they took over this time was USAID.
Correct.
What did USAID do?
Funded Island Boys Adventures. Partially.
I think
bribes for the CIA and stuff like that as well. Yeah, that's
there you go. Yeah, right? So, they were
Armando,
sort of an auxiliary CIA op.
Yeah.
Right. So it wasn't full on CIA where they were going in there and they were conducting ops. It was, we're going to go give a bunch of candy to kids.
Yep.
And medical supplies and aid and money and whatever to fund the people that are on the other side of the people we don't like. Yeah.
So a lot of people watching the show, you might not be familiar. There was a famous scandal back in the day called the Iran Contra scandal, right? Where we were illegally selling cocaine and to fund our enemies over there. It got really big or whatever. So it was a big scandal. So what they do now, how we do that, we still do that, but how we do it now was under the disguise of what they call an NGO, right? Like, so somebody will create a nonprofit organization and they'll call it Candy for Kids or something like he was just saying, right? And they'll happen to pick a place.
Iranian Aid East.
Yeah, exactly, right. And so they'll show up over there and they'll hand out, a bunch of candy, and then they'll give the local tribe leaders each a big briefcase of like $400 million or whatever. And then we will hook them up with, and this is actually true, we will hook them up with the trusted arms dealers that we work with to smuggle AK-47s out of probably the Ukraine or someplace like that, right? And fund the war like that so it can't get traced back to us. So USAID was actually doing that, and they'll never admit it, but they're not the only ones that were doing it, but that's how that works in the Black Ops community over there, right? The spec community.
That was the spearhead of a lot of it, right? Because USA would go in, establish relations or whatever, and then a contractor would come in, and do some of the work,
Here's
right?
here's your typhoid
Like cleaning
shot.
out the kids.
Here's your typhoid shot,
Yeah,
right?
here's your typhoid shot.
Yeah.
Exactly. Here's your measles booster,
Yeah.
right?
And here's an
Here's some
AK-47.
diapers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then the warlords would get their briefcase, and the warlords would go to
Yeah.
like the Jackal, and the Jackal would go and find them 7 cases of AK-47 somewhere.
Fell off a truck in Uzbekistan. So
right.
So since you brought that up, man, what's your thoughts on doing business like that? Because I kind of go a different way with that.
I think it's a very nuanced game.
Necessary evil, right? You think maybe?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, right?
Right.
And let me just pitch a scenario. So we'll call the fictitious country
Padukistan.
Padukistan, right? So
that's going on the board, y'all.
There's a religious zealot who's in charge of Padukistan, and he's not a nice guy. Treats people crappy, like and is possibly looking for dirty bomb material, right, to attack somebody, right? So USAID goes into the southern part of the country where he doesn't have a whole lot of reach, right? Those are some anti Padukistan sentiment, right? Maybe a tribe that's been mistreated or whatever. And they go in, they give the warlords some money, but at the same time they also bring food, diapers, medical care,
and there's
blah.
And there's about 5 guys on that are handing out that medical care that seem to be in higher than average shape and know a lot about military tactics that they just happen to teach you along the way. That's what that happens, right? Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, you feel me though, right?
Yeah, right.
So at that point, the way I see it is this. They've got a choice. They can go and they can fight against whoever the leader of Padukistan is, right? And try to depose them themselves. And yeah, they've been aided, but they're also kind of making a choice to fight, right?
Right.
You're not going to convince anyone who doesn't want to fight to like literally put their whole entire existence on the line to go fight something.
Correct.
If they don't really want to already. Right? Has to get pretty bad before a human will just start deciding they want to be a rebel. Right? It ain't a comfortable life. So I don't have a problem with it if it's done like that, where you're not necessarily influencing people to do something they weren't already wanting to do already.
Yes.
Right? Now, MK Ultra, where you're like feeding them propaganda and propping their eyes open and giving them LSD, that I have problems with, right?
And the vax, and fluoride.
Right now, what's happening is, so that's been done to us already. Like the whole PSYOPs thing, the private PSYOPs companies are already a thing everywhere, right? So instead of using it against our own people, why don't we use it for regime change in Iran, right? Use your social media expertise and your algorithm shaping and, opinion shaping technology and do it that way.
Yeah, but that doesn't get the
rather than bombing us. It does.
It doesn't get the Antichrist here by July though.
Oh yeah, well,
that's what I think. That's what I think.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. No, my bad. It does not. It does not achieve that objective. No.
Yeah, it doesn't get the Antichrist here by July. So,
of course, what they're doing now doesn't really achieve that objective either.
They're trying to do. I did a good.
They're convinced of that.
I talked about I talked about on Enigma Cast on Thursday. For me, this is 100% a spiritual war, but also, since we're over here to chat it up on that side, we're talking about now. I got a different approach, dog. I got a different approach, man. My approach is a little bit more cold. I think I'm an isolationist, dude. I think that my time in Japan has showed me, like, man, like, hey, look, if Uzbekistan needs a regime change, rise up.
They on their own.
Do it. Get it done yourself, right? So that's what. But you know what? You probably actually heard me say this right before, back in the day. I'm still a believer if you can take it and keep it, it's yours. They say like so. Remember I said we should take Thailand, right? Like why don't we just take this place, right? We should just take it, right?
Right.
So
because people get mad when you do that.
Yeah. So my thing is that I know that there's 91 million people in Iran. I know that it is. I mean, again, it is a suppressive or repressive regime, or however you call it, man. They can't. You don't have any real freedoms over there, right? It's definitely a totalitarian regime for sure. I mean, they'll cut your head off for certain things if you disagree with it, right? Or jail cells.
Yeah, they do some pretty bad stuff. They like put people in camps and
So, bro,
mistreat immigrants and things like that.
Bro, that's on y'all. That's just my opinion, right? And I know. So that's the thing I'm looking about. And it's not just Iran. It's the same thing, man. For Israel, for Syria. How in the heck we give Israel $800 billion every year for free?
$30 billion.
And you can't handle Palestine
for 10 million people.
Yeah, exactly. How is that a thing, right? So I'm not.
Well, because that gives them free healthcare, free education.
Yeah.
Stipend for every child.
Exactly. So when I see this going on over there, and I see all the stuff going on, I know Saudi Arabia. I know that, again, we've talked about this before. Iraq's are Shiites or Sunnis, or Iran is Shiites, and Saudi Arabians are Arabs, and they all hate each other, and Palestinians are their own little thing that no one wants to take them in. They're so, whatever, man. I get it, man. But look, bro, 250 some years ago, we took on the biggest superpower on the planet over here, right? With muskets and a can-do attitude. And
right.
We got it done. We got it done, son.
Yeah.
So look.
Well, I mean, and look, and there are things happening like that. Nepal, right? This past couple months ago, right? They went in and they like cleaned house. They were like, we've had enough.
Yeah.
And nobody intervened there. It just happened. Yeah,
shake it off, man.
I'm in agreement with you to a certain extent on the isolationism stuff, right?
Yeah. I said this
if
other
we
day.
Spent more money, if we spent all that money on America, we'd be pretty happy citizenry, I think.
Oh, bro, we would
much
be
happier.
We would be a utopia. I said this the other day, and people looked at me like I had a third eyeball. I said, you know what, man, we need to stop immigration for 10 years for everything. No student visas, no tourist visas, no nothing, man. We need a 10 years. Maybe the tourist visa now.
Need a timeout.
maybe the tourist visa. Maybe that's me being a little harsh right there, going too much.
That's economic isolation.
Yeah, man. I mean,
that's not good.
Let them come to Disneyland or whatever. But I'm dead serious on that. No chain migration. No getting your abuela or your Abby or whatever, a green card. None of that. We need to shut the borders, man, and close the books for a solid 10 years to recover. Right. That's my opinion, right?
I think that would be economically disastrous.
So be it. Well, but again, I said this back in 2008, man. I think I might have actually said it to you, believe it or not. When they bailed out the banks the first time for the economic housing crisis, right? And they said the banks were too big to fail. Bro, you learn from your failures. Americans are tough, bro. We're tough. We are freaking tough, man. Let it fall, bro. Let it crash. Let it just crash down. We'll sort it out and we'll figure it out, right? And we'll get moving. So this whole, economic suicide.
This is what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now. It's already started. Like, look, here's the thing. Iran is not going to stop until they run out of missiles.
That's going to be a while. They got a lot of missiles, man.
They got a lot. They've had 20 years,
years
to stock up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you got to think. We're in it until they stop firing.
Yep.
Period. Like, because I don't see an exit ramp other than that, right? Israel, I mean, not Israel, Iran would have to stop firing missiles for this to be over in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And I don't see them agreeing to a ceasefire just because at this point, how can you believe the United States if they want a ceasefire? How can you believe Israel wants a ceasefire when Israel just went into northern Lebanon,
Took a
right?
hand, yeah.
And launched this attack in the middle of negotiations, right? So you can't believe them anyway. There's no off ramp here. There is Iran stops firing missiles, and that's it. Like, that's the end.
I'll tell you too right now is that we made a, when I say I'm saying we, like in general us, we made a mistake poking them every 6 months, hitting them with a drone, poking them, because we
just made them better.
We showed them what we got. You know what I'm saying? We show them how we taught them how we were going to hit them. We taught them what we were going to do, and then the next thing you know, like China and Russia came in and probably 100% gave them satellite imagery. Probably still is.
Yeah.
I actually think they went a step further and tuned in some of them coordinates myself.
Right? But you never know. There's no way to ever know.
Because some of them shots were knocking out some of our. I mean, we're blind. You know, we only have one. We only have one missile.
That stuff on Google Earth, bro.
Well, I mean, we only have one missile defense radar left. It's in Turkey. I don't know if you knew that or not, right?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah, so they won't hit that.
They don't really want to launch in Turkey.
They don't want to poke that dog. It's a NATO ally too, but still, I think we made a mistake, man. Cheap shotting these guys along the way, man, and then all right, let them up, and then do it again. The ceasefire would only allow us to. If I was them, let's just war game here like we used to do back in the day. If I was them, and you had been for the last 20 years poking me on my eyeball, and I finally got you on the ground, I'm snatching your left eye out of your head. You're not coming off the floor unless I got an eyeball in my hand, right? So I wouldn't let you, because if I let you up, you're gonna go away. 2 weeks later, you're gonna throw a brick at me again, man. Right? Right? Yeah, that's why I'm thinking like this is why you can tell these people have never had a fist fight on a playground, man. You know what I'm saying? Because
they're not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop.
Yeah, this Street Fighter 101 right there, man. Stay on your feet, right? So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't have a positive outlook. Also, I think that the more and more I'm reading about. All right, I got to be real careful here because I want to keep this video up, right? The more and more I read about the sects of Judaism that are currently in the United States of America and some of the beliefs that they have towards guys like you and me, and the fact that some of them actually, a very powerful one here, believes that this is the year for the return of their Messiah, and that Voldemort, Boo Boo Net and Hoo Hoo, is a chosen, freaking messenger to usher that in. And we talked about it on Enigma Cast before. Me and you chuckle at that, but bro, they're 100%. They're in that.
Full on. Committed.
They're full on, dog. Yeah, kill. You shoot the dog, man. We don't need him tomorrow. It's full on, man. Like it's on, right? So when I see that, I didn't know about that when I did my episode on my live with Enigma Cast on Thursday. I would have brought that up. I didn't know about that until like over the weekend, and I was like, "What the?" In Brooklyn?
Oh yeah,
in Brooklyn. And I was like, "All right, man." Their headquarters.
New Jersey?
Yeah. Well, the headquarters for this sect, I can't say the name. Sounds like a ramen noodle bowl. Choban. You can look that up yourself. That's probably as close as I get away with it. Choban ramen noodles at Costco or your local Korean food store. The fact that he has been that those people have been operating in America perfect example. I'd often see a picture of several Hasidic Jews standing behind a president. They've all done it, and they sign this document, right? It's, hugely ceremonial in nature, but if you read that document, it talks about how that they can behead non-believers. That's in that document, right? And every president has signed it, right? Every president has, right? But I didn't know that we had, I mean, call it what it is, man. Extremism like that, just tucked away nice and neat in Brooklyn, planning for waiting for this lunar eclipse to happen, waiting for this perma to happen, waiting for the blood moon Salian to happen. And then it's Messiah, go, right? I didn't know we had people like that here, man. I didn't, man. And so, did you?
Yeah.
Were you aware of it? You're a little bit more streetwise than me when it comes to this type of stuff.
I've known for a long time that there are parts of that culture that believe a certain way, right?
Right.
That you're either one of them or you're just not anything.
You're a dog. You're an animal, really. Yeah. Well,
that's what I'm trying to say.
You don't have a soul. So, you're soulless is how they in their documents, right? Which you are. Yeah, you're suspect. I don't know about you. You do.
I'm 100% suspect. I'm like
you're soulless.
Enemy number one.
You're probably a clone, man. I don't know. I'm still.
Yeah, totally. Damn, they bought it. I wish they'd have given me a better body, man. This one's defective. Yeah, no, I've kind of known that for a really long time. When I was coming up, I was in that evangelical white nationalist kind of movement.
Snake handler.
And and when I kind of deprogrammed myself from that, I learned about a lot of different religions, right? And some of the stuff that I learned, I was like, that doesn't really, I mean, they don't really believe that now, do they? Yeah, they 100% believe it now. and in Israel, like there's some stuff that happens in Israel that isn't very savory, right?
Yeah.
But it's not all of the sects. It's not all of the Jews who believe that, because there's some people on the other side too that are like, and Zionism has nothing to do with Judaism, right? Like, so, it's not nothing is ever cut and dried.
Yeah, no.
Right? You're going to have Catholics who are extremist Catholics, right? There's an organization within the Catholic Church that is very extremist in its beliefs. There's an element of, Protestant evangelicalism that is extremist. They just happen to be in the White House right now. And then there's like, extreme Muslim, and then there's like moderate, like Muslims that are just, hey, look, they don't want nothing to do with any of that extremism too. So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where you're always going to have an element, whenever you have any kind of religion, right? Mm-hmm. My dude in the sky says I'm right. And you can't argue with that, because you can't argue with God. You can go and argue, like, it'd be one thing, like, if, the king said so, or the president said so, or, the bishop said so. You can argue with that person, and that's a person, that's a tangible, right? Like, that's a human being. You can argue with them. But if you say God says so, you can't argue with God.
So yeah, the thing too is that I dug into it just a little bit today. I had a fairly busy day today, but I was looking at their math, right? Like there's actually, they have math behind this. Like this year that we're in is like the year that this has to happen, right? For that sect of Judaism, right? For the Messiah to return. Like this is the year it has to happen because of the triple blood moon and the Selenilia blood moon and perma, whatever it is or whatever. And the Passover coming over and all this other stuff. And I was looking at this math, right, that they were putting in there. And this is my humor gets me in trouble sometimes, man. And I thought to myself, I was like, you sat around and you actually what you thought that you sat around and like you thought this up. Like how much thought did you like literally put in this, right? Like I made a joke one time, you weren't there. First time I ever met a Muslim service member, he sat down at our table. This was a mistake, right? And he started praying in Muslim. He was a black dude, but he was praying in Muslim. He was praying in, Allah. Arabic. He was doing this or whatever. And when he got done, I looked to myself and it was a couple of our buddies there, JP and like a couple other guys there. And I said, should we kill him? That's what I said, right? That was a joke. Obviously, that was a joke, right? He got upset and he left, right? Of course, I heard about it.
Mad.
Huh?
He got mad.
Yeah, he got mad and left, man.
Shocker.
Yeah, he got mad and left, man. And so you know, I don't know his name, but you would know his face if you saw him, right? Of course, he left.
Probably, yeah.
He went and told on me. Shocker, I've been yelled at better than that before, right? So anyways, so that was the thing, right? Worse. Yeah, so that was totally...
But see, and here's the thing. Here's my point, right? They're all very, very convinced that this is going to happen right now.
Oh, yeah.
But the Heaven's Gate cult was very, very convinced that in 1997, they were all going to get swept up by a comet and traverse off to whatever Never land their leader had invented, right? Yeah. They were very confident enough to basically suicide in a mass way.
Yeah, I'll tell you too, man, like you got to applaud the dedication, man. Like they're in for it all the way, right? So
I guess, but I mean, here's the thing.
Terrifying for us, but I'm talking about the occult, the cults.
It baffles me that you can't just look at the book and say, okay, this is a book that was written 2,000 years ago and has been touched by a bunch of different people for a bunch of different reasons. And just kind of look at it, read it, and not take it 100% as fact. Right?
Right.
There is a lot of good in there. Why not just take the good part out and go live your life?
Well, I'll even do
Hey, be kind to your neighbor. Be kind to the stranger and to the traveler. Be kind to everybody. Don't kill each other. Don't steal from each other.
Yeah, I'll even
just be good people.
I'll throw you another bone here. The Torah is only the first 5 chapters of the Bible. That's not in there. The whole this Messiah, moon blood, this whole thing. None of that's in there. None of it's in there, right? None of it, right?
But it was still a book that was written 4,000 years ago or whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, if you go, that's why when you fast forward to like the New Testament, it really just hammers home all the things that you were talking about right there. Love God above everything. Love your neighbor. Don't murder. Don't cheat on. Don't take your neighbor's wife. Stuff like that, right?
Right.
But bro, they woke up and chose the smoke, man. They don't want that. They want this. They want this fire and brimstone, man. And
I know, and I don't understand it.
I don't either. I don't understand it. I will say this though. Right? It strikes me that they want the smoke, but they've never had to build the fire themselves. And you want that war, but you've never been in war, because I was watching, and people think that I'm actually sad for what's going on right now, right? I don't want to see Israeli buildings getting bombed, right? I know what they did I know how they were celebrating when they were with the Palestine. I know all about that, right? I do, right? And that was horrible and disgusting as well. But somewhere in that city, there's this an old man and woman with pictures of their grandkids who want nothing to do with this, man. They want nothing to do with this, right? And it's always the guys that are screaming the loudest that lose control of their bodily functions when the fighting starts. You know what I'm saying, right? And you know exactly what I'm talking about, dog.
Yeah.
It's always the one, get some. That's always how it goes, right? And so I don't want to see, again, let Iran do Iran things, man. Let Israel do. We shouldn't even be giving anybody money. That's how I look at it at this point, man. You don't. None of y'all get money.
Yeah,
man.
you know, here's the thing. I don't understand the logic behind giving $30 billion to a population of 10 million people when you have major economic disruption in your own country.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We've got infrastructure problems. We've got problems with our youth and our education and our medical system. There's problems here, bro.
And we have,
no one can say that there isn't.
Well, we have, yes, but also, America right now is going through one heck of an identity crisis. And again, it's achieving, by nature of what we do, I have a lot of conversations with a lot of people, right? You're seeing a new front open up against young people versus old people, where not only like that's a front where the bottom is attacking the top, right, as well.
Yeah.
The age gap system, right? You always, you divide it up right now. Like you have unchecked immigration, you have a political spectrum that goes cuckoo on this side and goes even freaking kookier on this freaking side over here, right? The people over here have never been in a war and can't fight, and you can watch them when they eventually get over here and meet contact with these guys who actually know how to fight. And so we go back and forth, go back and forth, go back and forth, and then now you're adding in these economic stressors into it. Like America's birthday's this year, like 250 years old in July or something like that, right? Or whatever it is. And you have people in this country who don't know what this country stands for. And again, you and I have had the hindsight, or we've had the privilege of being in a lot of countries, a lot of different cultures, a lot of countries. And I learned something along the way on that. I'll use a story out of Vladivostok, Russia. When we were in Vladivostok, I met a guy who was our age at the time. He had been told that I was his enemy since he could walk, and I'd been told he was my enemy. And it turns out we were just two poor white boys, and that was it, man. I actually got
and that's pretty much how it goes.
That's just how it went, man. We were just two poor white boys, and he and I had a conversation about this X, Y, and Z on that. There was nothing there, right? And so in America, when we're over here and I see what's going on with just every single facet of our society right now is in some type of conflict or turmoil, that we've lost our national identity. And what I was saying is that I actually believe that that the land that you're born on or that you're in resonates with your body. For example, if you take somebody out of their country and they go to another country, right? Call it culture, call it whatever. Sometimes they do really well. Sometimes they don't do well at all, right? And so,
yeah, if
you're grown up in America at this time and you don't know what your country is about, you're just a ship on the sea, man. You're getting tossed around. You don't know what to stand for, right? And the biggest threat to that, dog, the biggest threat to that, man, is that it leads to hopelessness. Hopelessness will lead to frustration. Frustration always ends in violence. It's a progression, man. You take a youth group, right? You take a youth group and they go through their upbringing or whatever, and they have these hopes and dreams, and they get crushed, and they get crushed, and they get crushed. And I'm not saying that, I'm not to give everybody a participation trophy. You know me, by no means, right?
Right. No.
But you got to let them compete, man. You got to let them compete, right? They got to be able to compete, right? And
there has to be a way that they can win.
Yeah, you got to give them a chance, man. You got to they got to have something to work for, right? Yeah. And bro, when they don't get that, it leads to frustration, and frustration in adult males.
And when you're told your whole life
Yeah.
To do it a certain way.
Yeah.
And you literally, you do it that way. You do all the things that you're supposed to do. You study hard in school.
Yeah.
Right? You get great grades. You participate. You do like community service and all this stuff, and then you get hit. Right? Oh, the ticket to entry is um, 40 grand.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a low estimate, right? Like, to move to the next level, America is pay to play. Play to win.
Yeah,
pay to
sure.
win.
For sure.
Pay to win.
And
right?
So
it's like you go and then you're in this debt, and then you're a slave for the rest, like for the next a decade and a half.
Yeah, man, you become a debt slave, man, and they choke out, bro. And then they choke out, and then they check out. And that's what happens, man. And that's what I think that America is headed towards right now. This war in Iran.
It's already there.
Yeah, no, it is. This war in
Iran,
this conflict in Iran is 100%. Man, it's 100%.
And here's
foolish.
Yeah, foolish. And it's the kicker is that the people I almost slipped up. The people who started it aren't even going to be alive in the next decade.
Yeah.
Do you think Donald Trump is going to be alive to see 90?
His clone might clone him. Fifth term.
You feel me though, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, when I and that's the younger people. Another thing too, if you watch this video and you have the chance to mentor somebody along the way, listen to them. You don't have to give them a great advice, man, but like let them be heard, right? Let them hear what they have to say. And yeah, they talk like idiots, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so did we when we were younger, man. You know what I'm saying? Like our vocabulary was like, I think of some of the stuff I used to say, and I'm like, what in the world was I thinking, right? But that's what they're saying is that you're burning our future down. Not even for this country. And it's hard to defend, man. It is hard to defend, right? I'm tired of being the world police. Again, in my mind, this is 100% is a spiritual war end run to try to bring in the Christian Antichrist, which is the Jewish Messiah, right? And for what?
But why?
And for what?
Why?
Yeah. For what? Yeah. So yeah, that's
you're putting a lot of dependence on some shit that was written 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago.
Yeah, and even then, like I said,
when people were riding around in chariots and stuff, man, like, come on.
So yeah, bro, that's where that's at, homeboy, and that's where I'm thinking to myself, like, I wanted to talk about dogmen tonight, man. There's a gnome outbreak in Utah, everybody. Look, man. There's some good meat on this table here, but every time I got to turn around. Matter of fact, I don't think we're not going to talk about this tomorrow. We're going to talk about some other type of fiduciary going on around the planet here, right? They've roped me into doing this four episodes in a row because every time I turn around, I think, well, it can't be much stupider or more dumb, and they get a little bit more dumb.
It's just a comedy of errors, man, and it's not going to stop.
Yeah. It's not going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah.
Anyways,
there's no end. They're going to keep going until they run out. Like, literally, I truly believe this doesn't end until Iran is out of missiles. That's it.
All right, so we're gonna do something different here. We're gonna wrap this up, man. But you got to wrap something up, something positive. You got to say something positive, man.
Oh, okay. You're gonna have to give me a minute.
All right, you think about it. You have to you got to look for something positive to say about anything.
I literally do. I mean, I'm not prepared for that particular.
Well, here's my positive take, everybody. I've happened to notice, because I'm kind of a nerd, that I haven't seen a lot of cobwebs in my sky since this conflict in Iran started, and the clouds down here in Florida are looking like cotton balls again, back and forth, right? So I got to take that win. I got to take that win right there. They're too busy fighting to spray chemicals on us, man. So I'm making lemonade, y'all. I'm making lemonade.
Sure.
Jay, what do you got, man? You got something? Nothing positive?
Nah, I'm having a hard time.
Oh my Lord. You got nothing. You don't have one positive thing to say about the world right now.
I mean, there's fusion is happening. They're making strides in fusion and quantum computing.
Boring. Here, I knew you wouldn't be prepared, man. So I got one for you.
What's that?
Japan is going through a childbirthing crisis, and they're offering permanent visas for men to go to Japan if you're willing to marry a Japanese woman.
Japan?
And have babies. Yeah, in Japan, right?
Japan or I thought you said United Kingdom.
No, I said Japan is having like a birthing crisis with their.
Yeah, well, and then there's that, right? The whole world's falling. The whole developed world is facing a demographic crisis.
Oh my Lord, CJ, this is why no one likes you, man. This is why no one likes you, and I gotta do the friendly talking when it comes to meeting people. Did I not just tell you that we're going to end this on a positive note?
Well, the positive note is that you can immigrate to Italy right now very cheaply because they got a lot of room for you.
There you go, right there. So Jay, save that downer sauce.
Italy is beautiful.
Save that downer sauce for tomorrow when we pick this back up.
So is Spain. Spain is beautiful. Go to those places there. Yeah, Spain is nice.
Okay.
Spain and Italy are nice right now, and they're offering. There's a lot of incentives to go there right now.
All right, there you go, American young guys. If you watch this, there's your exit. I'm going to Japan. He'll go to Spain.
Well, if you're a young American guy, you should go to Estonia.
Estonia, okay.
There is a vast shortage of men in Estonia right now.
Well, there you go. Get a 2-for-1 down there. But anyways, Jay, you know how we do around here, everybody? We're going to keep this around an hour. We might have went over a minute or two. I'm sorry I'm late, everybody, but sometimes it happens when I got a lot of stuff going on. We will try to do better tomorrow. If this is your first time finding us, this is the Enigma Daily. We are the sister channel of the Ancient Enigma Files. At the beginning of this, please do us a favor. Give us a subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know if you have any... what's the word I'm looking for? Suggestions on to improve the format of delivery. Leave that into the comment section below. I'm very hard to offend. You actually won't offend me at all. So, Jay, until then, I said we're gonna end this on a positive note. So, Jay, tell everybody goodbye in a positive way.
Be safe. Be happy. Enjoy your freedom.
There you go. While it lasts, and we're out.
I wasn't gonna say that.
Subscribe now and turn on notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.